Well, I was the guy that everybody hated. By the way, I was the most hated person in Washington, D.C. Now I'm just the most hated man now that Marjorie is there. But before Marjorie got there in 2020, March 27th, 2020, 10th day of flattening the curve, Congress decided to spend $2 trillion with nobody there and taking no vote.
This is my favorite story, Thomas Massie story. One of my favorites.
I got in the car and drove to Washington, D.C. and objected. And I said, the Constitution requires a quorum to be here in order to pass this bill. And they hated me. Nancy Pelosi called me a dangerous nuisance.
Tell them what a quorum is.
A quorum would be at least half of Congress needs to show up to pass.
Which is how many people?
218.
How many were there?
Well, they were going to do it with one in the speaker's chair and one on the floor. They were going to do it with two people.
That's like it. So remember I was telling you they'll pass bills with only a couple people in there saying yes or no? That is exactly what he's talking about. They were going to spend how much money?
$2 trillion.
With two people in there, the speaker and one other person.
Like
so they said it was too dangerous for them to come and vote. Meanwhile, they're going to the grocery store and expecting a grocer to be there and somebody to bag their groceries. They expect the truck drivers to be driving. They expect the UPS guy to show up, the nurses to be there.
The unvaccinated healthcare workers.
Right. Nobody was vaccinated at the time, by the way. So anyways, I stood up. I objected. I said, I'm here today to make sure that our republic doesn't die in an empty chamber by unanimous consent.
Is it like a cryptographic vulnerability to vote just vote digitally and then confirm it with a video chat?
Well, okay, they hadn't. By the way, I think they need a constitutional amendment to do that. What they have come up with since then is a vote by proxy where a human being tells another human being on the floor, vote for me this way, so that they can't be compromised. It's basically human.
So it works like this. I say to my friend Thomas Massie, I'm going to just stay in Georgia this week while Congress is in session. Thomas, will you vote for me? And then Thomas goes, sure, I'll be your proxy. And so I've never done this, by the way, and I will not do it.
And I haven't either.
Yeah, we don't participate. But this is what members of Congress do. Some of them have just hardly ever shown up, literally hardly ever shown up, and someone else just votes for them all the time.
So this is like a representative having a representative. That sounds like they're not doing their job.
They're not doing their job unless you count their job as going to fundraisers. I mean, they would literally attend fundraisers.
That's right.
Instead of coming to vote.
Term limits?
Maskless.
Do you think term limits will end these nonstop fundraisers?
I don't think so. I don't think, I mean, I've sponsored term limits. I'm for term limits. Let's try it. But
I'm for it too.
The problem is not that the people who've been there a long time sell out. The problem is that people get there and sell out on day one. Mm-hmm. And then you have people who announce their retirements, and you would think, well, now they're unchained. They've no obligations and they'll vote their conscience. No. Once they know that they're no longer going to be there, their voting record doesn't improve. If anything, their attendance goes down.